Hello, it's Rico, America's healthy aging trainer and creator of the Ageless Living Lifestyle. Now, today's wellness training video is simply called Food, because food is really a big part of our life, isn't it? I mean, we have to eat on a regular basis just to survive. And of course, most people, they really like to eat food, right? And some people love to eat food, maybe a little too much. They kind of overdo it. So doesn't it make sense, since food is so vitally important to our life, that we should learn what really are the best and healthiest foods to eat? You see, the challenge is in America today is that the majority of foods that are produced by our big food manufacturers, what I call non-foods, are actually so highly processed, and they're so full of additives and chemicals, and they're genetically modified, and they're irradiated, that they not only are they so low in food value and nutrition and low in energy, but they're downright dangerous for your health. As a matter of fact, they're one of the major contributors to this poor health and obesity epidemic that we have in America. Did you know that America is actually the fattest country in the world? Fattest country in the world, and we're also one of the unhealthiest countries in the world. So my goal is to turn this around by educating people to get rid of this non-junk foods out of your diet and begin to eat whole, real foods. So the first part of this video is actually, that's what it's entitled. It's entitled, What are the healthiest, best foods to eat? And I got this idea from other people. You know, whenever I speak to groups about nutrition, to groups or to my clients, quite often people say, well, Rico, what do you actually eat? And so I said, well, you know, maybe that's a good idea. Maybe it would be an interesting, helpful, and fun video to actually show people in all the different food categories of what I recommend and what I eat on a regular basis. So I hope that'll be real helpful for you. So that's what we're going to do in part one of this video. Now in part two is entitled, How to Make Healthy Fast Food, How to Make Healthy Meals in 15 Minutes or Less. And now this is based on my real popular book that I wrote way back in the 90s called Real Food, Real Fast. And I think what's unique about this book, it does have some good nutritional information in it, but what's really, I think is really helpful is that I actually have a system where you actually get organized and prepared so you actually can make nutritious and delicious meals in 15 minutes or less. So in this second video, I'm actually going to attempt to make 3 full healthy meals, a dessert, and a power energy health drink, all in 15 minutes. Do you think I can do it? Well, we're going to find out, so stay tuned. I think you're going to enjoy it. It's going to be fun to see if I can actually do that. Now, the other question that I get asked a lot is, Rico, what's the best diet? As you know, we're inundated these days with diets, right? There's always the latest and greatest trendy diet out there. And you know what? Some of these diets, they actually do have some good parts and they have some benefit. But usually they're too extreme, or they're missing some really important element, and they're really a bit out of balance. So really, the best thing about So what I really want to say about these diets is, there's really one diet. Actually, it's not a diet. It's actually a food plan. It's called the Page Food Plan. And it was developed by a doctor named Dr. Melvin Page many years ago. And Dr. Page was one of the pioneers of holistic health and holistic healing and nutritional healing the body with whole foods, all about healthy nutrition. And so Dr. Page came up with this really overall really well balanced food plan. And so it's really acceptable. It's really good for anyone. If you're having, if you need to reduce body fat, if you need to reduce inflammation, if you have any health challenges going on, if you need to just have more energy or just want to be healthier, there's variations of the food plan that are really the right food plan to eat. So that's what I recommend. Now, if you go to our new website called healyourselfwithwholefoods.com, healyourselfwithwholefoods.com, you can read all about the Page Healthy Food Plan. It's also, you can read about it on my website, agelesslivinglifestyle.com. All right, so my message to you is, if you really want to be as healthy and as energetic and as vibrant all of your life, you've got to put the highest, best fuel in your body. Let me ask you this. If you only got one car for your whole life, only got one car, right? I bet you'd take really good care of it, wouldn't you? I mean, you'd take the best possible care you can. You'd tune it up and you'd put in the highest octane fuel, right? Well, think about this. You only get one body for your whole life, right? You only get one body for your whole life. So you got to ask yourself, are you really taking the best possible care of your physical body? Are you putting the highest octane fuel in your body? If not, think about this. Do you consider yourself a Ferrari or a Yugo? Remember the Yugo? That was like the world's worst car. I think it was in the 70s. And it was a small little car, cost about $3,000, but it like fell apart in 1 year. So think about that. If you're not really taking the best care of your body, you're not putting high octane fuel, the best possible food in your body, you treat yourself like a Yugo instead of a Ferrari. I don't think you want to do that. I think you want to be a Ferrari, right? Okay, good. All right, so we're ready to get started here. I'm going to go through these different food groups. Of some foods I actually kind of pretty much cleared out my refrigerator, my pantry of all my stuff and brought it over here to show you all this stuff. Now, one thing I want you to know is that I think this will work. This works well for me, and it will work well for most fairly healthy people. But we're all biochemically unique. So, one food may be really great for one person, it may be almost be deadly for another person. So what I recommend is you really should get yourself checked out. You should consult with a holistic integrated medical doctor or a naturopathic doctor or a qualified nutritionist who can actually determine what foods may not be the best for you and foods that may be really good for you. Now also in my book, Real Food, Real Fast, I also do have some ways that you can, at home, you can determine what foods might not be the best for you as well. Okay, we're ready to get started. So we're going to start here with this first category. I'll start with condiments, or herbs and spices, actually, herbs and spices. So I'm just going to go through this really fast. If I spend a lot of time talking about all the benefits of all this, we'd be here really way too long. So again, you can go to our website, healyourselfwithwholefoods.com, and you'll get tons of information about all the foods and spices and all the benefits and all that. So here's what I use on a regular basis. This is some cayenne pepper, really speed up your metabolism. This is some garlic nuggets, roasted garlic. And we all know the benefits of garlic. Now here's the one that I use really on a real regular basis. It's called, this is called Spike. It's just a mixture of sea salt and a bunch of organic herbs. I put this on almost everything. Here's some turmeric. We all know the benefits of turmeric. Put that on. Ginger. All these have some really amazing properties. Sea salt, you don't want to use iodized normal table salt. You want to use real sea salt. And then this is some organic coarse ground garlic powder. You get a big jug of this at Costco for a really good price. So these are things that I normally put on, I use for seasoning, okay? Now here's condiments. Now here's one that you may not know about. This is called Liquid Aminos by Bragg's. And this kind of takes the place of soy sauce, which is really, we don't want to use soy products. They're mostly genetically modified and they're way too salty. So this is really made from liquid aminos and minerals. It still has a little bit of a salty taste, so I put this on a lot of things. This is really good. Here's some garlic mustard. Really good you actually get at Trader Joe's. Now here's some really good organic salsa. I put this on almost everything, and it's a big size, but again, you get this at Costco for a really good price. Now here's something, a lot of people think that mayonnaise is not so good for you, but there's nothing really wrong with mayonnaise. I like it a lot, and I actually have a recipe for making my own healthy mayonnaise. This is organic mayonnaise made with cage-free eggs. It's got all really good ingredients except for one. It still is made with some oil. It's made with some organic soybean oil, which is not the best. So we actually will have that recipe on our Heal Yourself with Whole Foods website. And then same thing here. Occasionally I'll eat this organic tomato ketchup, but I also have a recipe to make your own ketchup. You don't have to put sugar in it. Because even though this is all healthy except, it does have some organic sugar, but it's about 60% sugar from the calories. So if you're avoiding sugar, you don't want to eat too much of that. All right, that's our condiments. Now here's the oils. Here's the number one best oil today. It's actually coconut oil. It has studies that it's actually helped people reverse their dementia and Alzheimer's. It's really one of the most healthiest fats. You can use it for, just eat it out of a jar. You can put it for light cooking, or put it in all kind of foods. Coconut oil has a lot of great properties. I eat this the most. Now here's avocado oil. This is really a wonderful oil. It actually has one of the highest smoke points. So if you are going to do saute or do a little heating something in the pan, macadamia nut oil also is really good. Avocado oil is the one to use. It's a little bit pricey, but it's so wonderful oil. And of course, olive oil, organic, imported virgin olive oil. It always has a good taste. You can always use some olive oil. And then here's a product that I use. It's also by the same company, Bragg's, makes a healthy salad dressing oil that I use. And then this is actually some organic butter. Butter is a whole food. It's actually okay for you. You don't overdo it. It would be better if you could get raw butter. It's hard to get that these days. But this is organic butter, so I use a little bit of butter as well. Now we're on to nuts. So just as space, I just put a few of my favorite nuts. Now nuts, you want to eat them raw, and actually it's best to soak your nuts because nuts do have some enzyme inhibitors called phytic acid. So when you soak it, it removes that, so they're more absorbable. And some of my favorite nuts, of course, almonds, walnuts. Walnuts are so good. It's one of the very best, has the best fats, oils in it. And then here's an oil you may not be eating much, but it's a Brazil nut. Brazil nuts are great, and they have the highest content of selenium of any food. It's one of the very best foods to eat. So nuts should be a good part of your diet. Now here's sweeteners. Now the only sweeteners I recommend this is raw honey. It has to be raw, and if you get it locally, it's always the best. You get local grown food. So this is raw honey, has good nutrition, and it has some really good benefits to you. Now this is maple syrup. Maple syrup is actually a very healthy sweetener. It has a lot of nutrition in it, but also it doesn't have any fructose. We now know that fructose is one of the worst sugars to eat because it really jacks up your insulin level right away, gets into your bloodstream too fast. So now fructose, when you eat it within a fruit, that's a different because you have all the fiber and all the other things there. But when they isolate fructose and use it in a sweetener, you don't want to use that because that really jacks up your insulin levels. So this is stevia. This is a little liquid herb. You probably heard of stevia. This has no calories, and this is something you can use as a sweetener as well. I like it in my tea sometimes. Now this is drinks. Oh, I forgot my best prop. Okay, this is Kavita. This is my favorite sparkling probiotic drink. Now, probiotics are friendly bacteria that we need to have a healthy colon and a healthy gut. So it's really important. And this is also very cleansing. It's called Kavita. It'll put, this is a fermented drink. Miso is a fermented soybean, and they only use organic, so they're not genetically modified. So miso is a good form of a soup or a broth to use to get some fermented foods in your body. You can also use kefir. This is an organic Greek kefir that's still made with milk products, so you want to avoid dairy. It has a little sugar in it, but it can be healthy. A little bit of this is good. And then here's apple cider vinegar. Again, apple cider vinegar makes your system very alkaline. It's also a fermented food that has many really good health products. So I'm going to move these out of the way. Okay, over here we have a group of superfoods. Now, superfoods are just foods that are a concentration that are really nutrient-dense foods, and then they put them into a powder so they're concentrated. So we heard about chia seeds. This is actually a seed that just has so many good fiber and has protein, has omega-3. Now here's one that has a combination of it has flax seeds, it has pumpkin seeds, it has sesame seeds, it has goji berries. These you buy them, they're already made. You just pour them into a smoothie or pour them on your salad. You get all these benefits of all these little superfoods. Now this is chlorella. Chlorella is a freshwater algae that has so many great properties. It actually helps to, it's really detoxifying body. It actually can take heavy metals out of your body. And this is from a company that I work with. It's one of the very best nutrition companies that have the purest products, primarily whole food products, called Premier Research Labs. So that's chlorella. This is cell food. This is just some minerals in it that you could actually put into your water to make your water alkaline. You don't really need to buy one of those big expensive alkaline machines. It's just, I use distilled water and I just put these mineral drops in there to give you alkaline water. This is hemp seeds. These are really high in protein and really tasty. These are pumpkin seeds, really high in zinc, just a lot of good properties. This is raw cacao powder. This is one of the highest antioxidant foods in the world. You just put this, you can make a nice smoothie with this. Put it with some almond milk or banana. And then you need to add a little sweetener because this is a little bit bitter. So you add a little sweetener, maybe a little honey, that's really good. And then maca. You may have heard of maca. Maca is a South American, it's like a superfood that the Incas and all the Aztecs used to eat. It has so many health properties. So this is another thing that I use. And then the last thing here is my green powder that I drink every morning. This is just a group of the most nutrient-dense green in a powder form. This is, again, made by Premier Research Labs. So that's some superfoods. Now, I got mixed up. Here's my Dos Equis. It was with drinks. I see, not with that. I got confused. Okay, here's my, this is the very best tea, yerba mate. This is like the king of teas. It has so many health properties, again, a South American herb. So this is one of the herbal teas that I drink a lot. This is called Dandy Blend. Now this is a gluten-free grain coffee, but it has dandelion. And we know dandelion is one of the most nutrient-dense foods, has so many health properties as well. So this is a product called Dandy Blend, really makes a nice coffee. And then this is almond milk. You know, I would recommend dairy. You know, dairy for most people are lactose intolerant, and it's just highly processed, pasteurized, not a really good healthy food. So I like almond milk. So here's a unsweetened natural almond milk that I use for me. And here's my Dos Equis. I don't often drink beer, but when I do, I prefer Dos Equis. Now we're going to fruits. I just put a few of the best. Obviously, there's many fruits that are really helpful for you. But here's the thing about fruits. You want to eat fruits raw. Fruit juice is not too good. Fruit juice are just too high concentration of sugar. So if you do drink fruit juice, just mix it half with half water and half juice. That'll be a lot healthier for you. So these are some of the fruits I eat on a regular basis. Pears, avocado actually is a fruit, although we eat it like a vegetable. This is one of the top 5 all-time most nutritious, most beneficial foods is avocado. Kiwi, I eat kiwis, really high in vitamin C and potassium. They're really good. This is an organic Fuji apple. This is an organic peach. I love peaches. This is a lime and a lemon off my own trees. So this is just a few of the fruits that and I'm going to show you that frozen fruit is also good, especially frozen berries. I like frozen berries because, you know, when you buy fresh berries, they just don't last very long. They go bad really quickly. So this is from Trader Joe's. This is wild, no pesticides, wild blueberries. And we're going to use some of these in our drink today. So frozen fruits are also okay. And here's one more. This is organic dried figs. Now figs are also a wonderful food. They just hold so high in fiber and have a lot of good nutrients. I love figs. I also like prunes. Oh, I don't have any prunes to bring, but prunes are really an excellent food as well. The way you want to eat those is I just soak them in a little bowl of distilled water overnight, and they just go juicy and plump and really delicious. Okay, now we're on to vegetables. Of course, vegetables are the king of foods, really. This is the most thing that we need to get more into our diet. We've known that forever, right? So there's a ton of vegetables that are really healthy and really good for you. So I'm not going to bring I don't need to bring all the vegetables, although you'll see some that we're going to use in the food today. But I just brought you a few kind of unique ones. This is one of my favorites. This is from Trader Joe's. It's called organic microgreens. There's just little teeny microgreens, sprouts, and they're so delicious, so healthy. I eat it just by the handful. It's really good food. And this is something you may have never heard of, but this is fermented Japanese black garlic. And the cool thing about this, aside from all the great nutritional value, it's really good for your immune system. And you know, we know garlic is an antibacterial and antiviral properties. This black garlic is not like regular garlic. You know, you take a regular garlic and it's like, ooh, something. This has kind of a sweet, soft taste. It's really tasty. I just eat it like that. Black garlic, it's really great. And then here's actually garlic too. Garlic, as I mentioned, is one of the most healthiest foods that it's actually a vegetable. You've got to get into your diet every day. So here's some organic, already peeled garlic. Makes it real easy for you. And I just bought this piece of cauliflower to show you. You know, cauliflower, along with broccoli and some other cruciferous vegetables, we know are really good anti-carcinogenic. But just take a look at that. What does that look like? It looks like a brain, doesn't it? It looks like our brain. So foods that look like something important, I think that they might show that they must be important to eat. It's like our brain. Also, it's a walnut. I couldn't find a walnut in the shell. A walnut in the shell looks like a brain as well. That's what walnuts are so good for us. Okay, now we're going to move over to legumes and beans. So here's just a package. I just bought you a package of pinto beans. This is the bean that I eat a lot. I grew up in New Mexico. Frijoles is a staple food there. I really like now beans and as well as nuts. You need to soak them again to get that phytic acid out of there, so they'll be more digestible. So you want to soak them. And of course, lentils is a really good legume. So again, now we do have some really healthy packaged foods these days. This is an organic whole grain, gluten-free lentils and rice. So this makes it pretty easy for you to make. Here's some organic brown basmati rice. Again, these are all gluten-free products. Now here's grains. Unfortunately these days, the thing about gluten is, originally the wheat and products that had gluten in them wasn't so bad for us because it was the way it grew naturally. But then the big food manufacturers realized that gluten, they could use it for so many other things and put it in other food products. They altered the wheat so it has a really high content of gluten now. And now it's beginning to cause a lot of people inflammation, and some people are really allergic to it. So you want, if all possible, you need to avoid gluten. It would be beneficial for most people. So nowadays we can get like pasta. I love pasta. I'm Italian, right? So this is gluten-free quinoa pasta, and it's really good. It's really good. There's also some corn, gluten-free corn pasta that's really, so you can get corn pasta. Now here's buckwheat is also a really nutritious grain that is also gluten-free. Now here's a cereal. Here's a cream of buckwheat cereal that I like to eat. Just really good stuff. And then here's some organic gluten-free tortillas. Now remember, most corn is one of the most genetically modified foods, so you don't want to eat any corn unless you know it's organic. Same thing with any kind of soy product. And then here's a gluten-free bread. I finally found a gluten-free bread that actually is really good. Most of them are like, not so great. This one is called Cook's Gluten-Free Sourdough. It's actually made here in San Diego, and it's delicious. It's all gluten-free, and it's just great bread there. Okay, now on grains. Oh yeah, I do have another surprise for you. I want to be totally transparent and tell you really what I eat. So here's one of my vices that I do eat. This is called, these are Red Hot Blues Organic Garden of Eden blue cornmeal chips. I just love these things. But I mean, they're all organic. They're really dry, so they don't have too much oil. But they're still made with some oil, which is not the vegetable oils are not the best thing for us, as we know now. Vegetable oils cause inflammation in our body, and they get us out of balance with the omega-3s and the omega-6s. But, you know, you don't have to be perfect. But anyway, Red Hot Blues, just to be honest, I eat some of these sometimes. Okay, now we're over to, get this out of the way, we're over to protein foods. Now, I want you to know, of course, you can get protein from nuts and seeds and vegetables, but of course, animal products really have the best overall amount of protein in them. And my favorite, of course, is eggs. Eggs is really a great food. This is organic, brown, certified, humane-raised, free-range, no fed, vegetarian fed, no hormones. This is a great egg product. And that's the kind of eggs you've got to get, because most commercial eggs, they give them chemicals, they're raised, you know, they put them in a cage and they just make them force feed them. Those eggs are very unhealthy and they're anemic. So you want to eat this great egg. Eggs is a perfect protein. It has all the amino acids you need for a perfect protein. Now here's another thing I like. This is wild caught Alaskan salmon burgers. These come frozen, make a great sandwich. These are delicious. Salmon, we all know salmon's good for us. Now here is again, we talked about dairy, not so good for you. Cheese, everybody likes cheese. I like a little cheese, but not too much. It's not the best food. It's kind of a plug. But this is organic, raw goat's milk cheese. Now, goat's cheese has different properties than cow's cheese. It's a little healthier for you, and it doesn't seem to bother people who have lactose intolerance. So, raw goat's milk cheese, really great stuff. Now here's one I got to confess to this. I don't usually eat red meat too much because I don't really like it that much. But this is one I've been eating a little bit regularly. And this is, I just have to say, this is all natural, organic ground bison. It's raised without any antibiotics, no hormones, raised, you know, they're not raised naturally, and it's just so delicious. You know, I actually feel bad about eating this because bisons are such beautiful, amazing, cool animals, but it's already there. They're already ground them up. So, but anyway, once in a while you can eat something like this too. And of course, I'll eat a little bit of, you know, make sure if you're going to eat chicken, make sure it's no hormones or no antibiotics in it. And turkey is the same way. So that's some protein foods. So I think that is it. I think that's good. We've gone through most of the categories. So I hope that was really helpful for you. Give you some ideas of some foods that are available that you may not have been aware of. And again, I want you to realize that you've got to get this junk, fast food, processed food out of your diet. Start eating more natural foods like this, and you'll be really happy that you did. So again, hope that was interesting and helpful for you. Now, if you have any questions on any of this, you're welcome to contact me on my website, agelesslivinglifestyle.com. All right, so that's the end of our first part of our food video.